Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about the superior AI power of Google in the phone manufacturing domain. So basically, previously, for many years, I think for over 5 years, iPhones always dominated the mobile camera markets for 5 years long. Until recently, there are a lot of other phone manufacturing companies that catching up. But one company that really impressed me a lot is Google. Google not only have good hardware, maybe their hardware, in fact, maybe their hardware is not as good as Apple's camera, but their software is just insanely good. They have been trying these kind of approaches, use software to fine tune the cameras, fine tune the photos for a very long time, but it wasn't that successful until Pixel 3. You may probably notice that Pixel 3 really intensely use a lot of computer vision techniques to improve their photo quality, especially in a low light situation. And um, they kind of keep improving in also in Pixel 4 and Pixel 5 now. So you can see that really their computer vision's research really is paying off now. If you are in the because I'm in the machine learning domain, so I understand how good Google's AI is. Google basically is state of the art in the world. It's the best company that can do deep learning and the reinforcement learning. So that they kind of they have been applying the kind of AI techniques to the commercial forms, especially for photography for a long time. But it's just starting paying off in recent 3 years or 2 years, I think. And you can see their newly released Pixel 4a. They have a live HDR, which is incredible. They use a lot of AI techniques. And also, if you notice, they have the local transcription, live transcription app, which you don't need to connect to the internet, and you can still have a very accurate live transcription, which also very impressed how they can compress the model to the small size and put into your local phone. Uh, it's very different from the approach that people use. Usually, you call the API, the you do the computation in the cloud, but instead they do the local computation, edge compute. So it's very impressive. And the same thing goes to the photography. They use the local CPU to do the calculation for your phone. Like HDR, live HDR, they immediately like on the fly doing a lot of different exposure and aggregate the photos. Definitely, people have been had these kind of techniques for a long time, but it's very hard to do in the real time. Most of the time, we take three pictures. The cameras take two three pictures for you, then aggregate it in the background. Then it takes probably at least half seconds to process this HDR aggregation. But instead, Google doing in the real time. That's very impressive, and you can start seeing the software of over hardware. This kind of phenomenon is showing up in mobile photography domain. Now it's not the one who has the best software wins. It's the one who it's not the one who has the best hardware wins the game. It's the one they have okay hardware and the state of the art software. And now the company which is in this position, there's only Google. Only Google can do that. There's no other company that can catch up with Google in terms of computer vision research results. There's another company that's I don't think they are close to Google, but they at least is the ones still catching up, which is Facebook. Facebook. Unfortunately, they don't manufacture phone. They don't do the phone business. So Google can enjoy this kind of advantage, unfair advantage in the, it's not really unfair advantage, it's not a good word, I think, enjoy this kind of technological advantage for at least 5 years or 10 years. I would not say 10 years, this is really hard to foresee, but at least in the next 3 years you will see this kind of gap probably will get bigger and bigger. Apple tries to catching up, so they few years ago they hired one of the very heavyweight AI research, who Goodfellow, who invented the GAN, is a very famous neural network architecture. So anyway, they trying to catch up, but there's not one person thing. Even they hired a very good research, but if it's just researchers, if just a few, you cannot compare to Google. Google has so much resources, DeepMind, Google Brain, and other departments. So yeah, that's all the thing I want to share today. And if you would like to receive more business analysis videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. And other than that, I will see you next time.